Hello, normal player guy, and welcome back. Now, of course, as you're all aware, if you played the game, the announcements have been made for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, the movie collaboration. You could call this a part 2 if you must. Have just been released for us. So, this is great news. It is, of course, as I said, and as it said, the last week of October as a nice mini celebration just before we hit the amazing November stuff, right? So I myself have not looked at any of these. I've strayed away, so I have no idea what they do. I've heard that they're great, but now this will be, for me, the first time I can actually see what they do. So we're going to look into it for all those on Global, for all those who don't know, and for those who just want a different kind of review. Jump straight in, Gamma 1. So let's have a look. Oh, interesting. So that's actually interesting. So he's going to be a super type. Let me just check out Gamma 2. They're going to be super. Okay, so interesting. Whilst they were one of the antagonists, they're actually a super class. So movie heroes, artificial life forms, key 3 full 170%, with the additional 30% stab bonus for accelerator battle and worthy rivals. That's quite interesting, actually. My last video, I touched on the difference between Kid Buu and AGL Cell, and of course, they're both on artificial life forms, so that could be quite an interesting combination for the cell, pending what you have. Probably not really, but yeah, accelerated battle or worthy rivals. So worthy rivals is like the Piccolo and the Vegetas and the Pycon, so that's a bit interesting. Accelerated battle could be good. Movie heroes and accelerated battle, you could probably make a turn for it independently. It's going to be movie heroes and worthy rivals could be an interesting aspect. Okay, so the 30% of stats for the turn, and that's about it. So there's an entrance animation. That'll be quite nice. So okay, so there's no requirements. So not like LR Cooler, just stand up entrance animation. 50% to attack and guards all attacks for 4 turns from the start of turn. That's good. That's quite nice. I would like a little bit of a defense to slap in with this. It's nice that they guard, but I mean, come on. If you're going to give us attack, why not defense? It's only for 4 turns. 150% to stats, flat out, but there's no key on that. So, okay, we'll touch back on that. 100% attack when performing a super attack. Okay. Plus an additional attack and defense 20% up to 100, and reduces damage received by 10% up to 50 with each attack received. Okay. A 30% chance of critical hit starting from the turn in which the character receives the 5th attack in battle. Okay. All allies 1 key 30% defense and has a 70% chance of evading an enemy's unarmed super attack and countering, right? Okay. There's a lot to dig into here, but we'll have a look. So, yeah, okay. So 150% to stats, no key. What does he have on this? That is key at full level 10. That is key, but you got to get it to level 10. Let's see. Shocking speed is 2. Signature pose you could probably get on, well, I don't know if you'll be able to run that with like worthy rivals or movie heroes. Could be some Gotenks in there. Hero Justice. So shocking speed is going to be your main key link. That's interesting. Okay. So let's see. Nice attack. You have 30% here. You get 100% on super attack. You will build up to an additional 100%. With every attack received, you'll get an additional 100. So on super attack, you'll be getting 150. You'll be getting 100%. On super attack, you'll be getting an additional 100%. Well, okay, so this guy can hit fairly hard, right? Especially if you try and put him on a 170, 200%. The guy's not going to struggle for damage and defense as well. Not only that, but he has this physical future Gohan mechanic where he builds up his damage reduction. Mind you, it's slightly updated by now, but it still remains as this, right? So 10% up to, so you start out. So I wonder, I'm curious to know if you start out at 10%, you probably don't, and then you get 50%. So you probably want to put him in slot 1. This is where I think that having this defense here as well as attack, as well as guard for the first 4 turns. The idea is, right, you're going to guard for the first 4 turns, stick him in slot 1, turn 1, get all these hits to build up this attack, this defense, this damage reduction. But even with 150% stats, you could, even with guard, some of the most difficult content, even in like regular Super Battle Road, like this could save you, but you'll find that just with this, you're not probably not going to be enough. The game is picked up now where it's going to be it's crazy difficult. And you need some ridiculous defense, probably close to a million defense is what you need right now, which is unrealistic in many terms. So could have a defense slapped in there, right? That's really what we want. This on super attack and this all built up would be quite nice. You'll probably have most, if not all of it, done by turn 4. You'll have to keep him on rotation, but that's the point, right? That is kind of the point. So let's see. He has a 30% chance to crit from the 5th attack. So every time you receive 5 attacks, your next attack has a 30% chance to crit. So that's okay. So you don't rely on this. This is just an additional thing that he has. This is just filler for his passive, right? So every 5th attack, you have a chance to crit. This is nice though. 1 key, 30% defense for all allies. So why not attack? Why not 2 key, 30% defense? Defense alone is nice. Given the extra key is probably the best thing going there. A lot of units can give this 30% defense. So 1 key seems a bit cheap. Right, 70% chance to invade an unarmed super attack. So he has the Tech Largo GT's ability, right? So there's plenty of units that now start to do unarmed super attack. That's basically like the Dragon Fist, basically, or the Wolfang Fist, right? So it's stuff like that. Anyone that punches you with your fists. Let's see, Ultimate Gohan probably has that. The SD Ultimate Gohan has that, right? So not bad. Overall, pretty good. A lot of it's because he guards, right? Nothing else on his super attack effect. Doesn't seal, doesn't lower attack, doesn't even lower defense. So that's an interesting one right there. Nothing here says that he can be buffed if you use Gamma 2, which is good actually, because that means you don't have to have a punt for both of them. It's not like the Ginyu squad where you kind of need more than just one new unit, you need them all. So that's good. I like how this guy's built. I just think it could be a little bit better. I think they've just been a little bit cheap. Extra defense here. And this is a bit of an oddity. This is nice. It's nice that you're getting it. Yeah. So let's have a look at his links. Android Assault is defense and 2 key, but only if you work at level 10. Now, when you pull this guy, you're not going to get the key. So Android Assault is not going to help you out on that. A lot of Cell Saga has that, right? A lot of androids in general actually have that. Cold Judgment. You can get Cold Judgment. Even at level 1, that 20% defense is still quite nice. Cold Judgment is largely reserved for Future Saga, so it's going to be curious to see how you can work that out. Red Ribbon Army. So if they bring out more units along this caliber, along this new movie, along more just release more androids realistically that have the army outside of like the AGL Super 13, then that could be a good one there, right? Because you get attack and even defense at the end. Shocking Speed is going to be your best hero on this. You get 2 key from that. Fierce Battle, as always. Signature Pose will be interesting. I suppose that'll work with Gamma 2. Most of these links, if not all of them, will be with Gamma 2 and Hero of Justice. So, let's see. Great Saiyaman could work with Hero of Justice. Gotenks could work with this. Otherwise, this is probably based around some movie villain, movie extreme, so movie boss androids, right? So again, Super 13 is probably looking quite nice. Androids, movie heroes, that's a bit interesting. You could even be on both. I did actually speculate that you could be on both. They are the antagonists, but do switch sides. Anyway, androids, movie heroes, artificial life forms, worthy rivals, special pose, defenders of justice, and accelerated battle. We'll touch on to why these are great on these when we look into Gamma 2. Okay, so Gamma 1 looking pretty decent, but could be better. Let's have a look. So Gamma 2, this is the, I suppose you could, it's never really sure who is actually stronger, except for Gamma 1 appears to be more level-headed in the movie, right? So let's see. Movie heroes, androids, or special pose, 170%, with the additional 30% for accelerated battle and worthy rivals. This is the same. This is the first time we've ever had 3 in the main lead category, right? Movie heroes, androids, or special pose. That's 3 different categories. That's actually one of the best ones going on there. That makes this quite nice. Androids is a funny one, right? You got movie heroes with androids, so that's a bit of a funny one. 30% to stats and does nothing else. Okay, so as we'd expect, it has an entrance animation, so that's quite nice. So defense 50% and launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a 30% chance to become a super attack for the first 4 turns from start of turn. That's a bit different. 150% to stats, no key. Okay. An additional 100% attack when performing a super attack. Additional 20% to stats and chance of crit from 10% to 50% with each attack performed. Okay. Launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack, starting from the 5th attack in battle. Nice. All allies 2 key 30% attack. 50% chance of nullifying, basically countering key blast attacks directed at the character. Okay, already I think I like Gamma 2. Okay, so Gamma 1 is valuable in the way that he guards, right? This guy has the additional defense with a 30% chance of launching those, getting those 2 additional attacks. Interesting. I think, you see, looking at this guy, how would you build him? Probably dodge. Again, they both have this, but no key. So this is exactly the same. Oh no, he has innocence. What does he have? Android assault versus, no, he's got android assault, R, shocking speed. What does this guy have? Cold judgment in exchange for the innocence. So attack. Okay, well that makes sense because Gamma 1 appears to be more defensive based and this guy appears to be more offensive based. He gets the additional 100% on super attack. He gets the 30% stats. Whereas you get stats and damage reduction, this guy gets stats and critical hit. So after each attack performed, so that's actually pretty good because you launch these 2 attacks, right? Doesn't matter if they're super attacks, so you launch 2. So you're going. So how that would work? Okay, so there's going to be like 3 attacks already. So you're already going to be up to 30% crit of each attack performed. It means on the 3rd rotation, the second pop round, it's going to have that fully built up. Just this bit, you're going to have that chance to crit, and that's just with each attack performed. So from every 5th attack, so every 5th attack, you will launch an additional, which will again will build this up quite nice. And you have a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. That's really good. 70% chance. You could almost always rely on that to increase those stats, right? Now, 2 key and 30% attack. Now, I like this better, not even though it's attack, not rather than defense. 2 key is far more valuable to this team with no key links, right? So 2 key is nice. 50% chance of nullifying key blasts. Okay, so the reason that's 50% rather than the 70 is key blast attacks, the Kamehameha, all that kind of stuff is all very common. So it would be quite broken if it had the Tech Gogeta, right? If it was just 70% for key blasts. This isn't necessarily a counter, but is basically a poor man's counter, right? It nullifies, does 0 damage, right? But that's the point, I suppose. You can give yourself a chance of surviving if you put this guy in front of super attacks. He seems a bit better built. I like the 2 key. Let's see. What is confusing me a little bit is how do you build him? You probably would go for dodge and additional. You wouldn't go for crit, no crit at all, because you're going to build that up to a 50% to crit. You're doing several attacks. I mean, that's only for 4 turns, but you're going to build this up real quick. You don't need to have crit because you're going to build it up. every 5th attack, you will do an additional one, which again is just even a regular attack is good. If it crits, it's just going to make it just chip away even more. Like regular attacks might do nothing, but if it's a crit, it does some damage. I like this guy better actually. 6 out of 7 links, Innocence instead of Cold Judgment. So definitely attack, 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 key in attack. All of this is attack, right? This guy's probably going to hit harder. I guess when you have them side by side, you'll have 3 key, 30% attack and defense, all their passives put together. So I suppose they would kind of help each other, right? One would give defense and guard. You put him in slot 1. He takes up some of the nasty attacks. And then this guy, he would just follow up with the more powerful attacks. So that would be quite nice. Obviously, they're on the same teams. So the reason why these could be good on here, let's see. So Androids, it's a pretty good team. Especially if you use the AGL cell, who makes it a 200% team. That could be quite nice. So yeah, that's not too bad. Movie Heroes. Now here's the problem. Movie Heroes doesn't really have artificial life forms or androids, so that's a bit weird. So Movie Heroes, you just won't run him on. Artificial life forms, you absolutely can. You'd have to build you'd have to build an RR army, a Red Ribbon army, more so, like basically just slap in a bunch of androids, really. Worthy Rivals could be nice. Special Pose, Defenders of Justice, and Accelerated Battle. These 3, right? They have Signature Pose. They have Hero of Justice, Shocking Speed, Innocence. These are quite common between Gotenks and Great Saiyaman. They're gonna have some of these actually, right? Hero of Justice, Signature Pose, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle, the Innocence, and Defenders of Justice. If you pull the first one with his guard for the 4 turns, tackling Extreme Super Battle Road with these might actually be doable for a lot of people with this guard, with him giving 1 key 30% defense. That could be nice. For a lot of these, for Movie Heroes, Artificials, Worthy Rivals, I think you have to run the 2 together because these links just ain't going to work on them. I'll have to do, funny enough, another video and I'll go through one by one as to reason why that could be a bit of a wonky one. But until now, yeah, some of these would be quite nice. Android, Special Pose, Defenders of Justice, and Accelerated Battle. Okay, so having a first look into it, this is the first time I've actually seen these. As I say, I've stayed away from the info just to give myself, just to give it to me now. Right, so again, between the 2, guard and gives defense, whereas this guy just feels overall built. You might have more fun with him. I love this triple category lead, right? It just gives you a fair bit of leeway. You personally probably wouldn't run him on Movie Heroes, but Androids and Special Pose, yeah, not bad at all. Are you going to need to run them together? Not really, but with the links, yes. So unless you're running, as I say, these 3, you're probably going to need them together. Well, that actually then brings me to Should You Summon and what's the banner look like? Well, fear not, I have actually the information here. So these will come out, if not tomorrow, in the next 2 days. So here we go, the banner. It is terrible. It is real terrible. Okay, there are some good ones in here. So Gamma 1, Gamma 2, as you'd expect, right? It is a red coin banner, so if you really needed to build them up, sure. All of these units, all these SSRs will appear in the red coin shop. So if you don't have this Piccolo, if you don't have Ultimate Gohan, these Tech Worldwide Chaos androids, this is an android lead Super 13 and movie boss Broly, now is your chance to actually pick one up, right? Let's see. So Ultimate Gohan, still fantastic to this day, still probably one of the most broken. In fact, ever since he came out, because he permanently guards and greatly stacks attack, not just raises attack, not just raises stats, he greatly raises stats. This guy, ever since they released him, every other guard unit, much like Gamma 1, much like the new LR coming soon, they only guard for 4 or 5 turns because this guy's broken. He takes no damage, and because he greatly stacks, after 1 or 2 super attacks, he's invincible to even like Cell Max, which is just the most punishing boss in the game. There's very few units that could take a hit from Cell Max's super attack, and this is one of them. He's probably the best ones on here. Piccolo is a worthy rivals lead and probably one of the only few in there, so if you need him, then he could be useful, but you wouldn't summon on him. He does stack, he does heal. He's actually pretty useful. He's not a bad unit, but he's aged off now. These androids, so these are absolutely crazy. You gotta use them on Future Saga, you gotta use them on Worldwide Chaos, but these are absolutely fantastic. These came out with the also broken banner unit, the Int 19 and 20. These are fantastic. They're an orb changer. They get stats on orbs. They're just absolutely ludicrous, right? Super 13. So Super 13 does have great links. He does have so he does have big bad bosses and nightmare and all that kind of stuff. It does work well with some of these cells that do have big bad bosses and so on and so forth, right? Not the greatest anymore. I think he's only a 130% lead. He can be useful, but he's dropped off. We need a new one. And Broly, he has got to be coming up with an easy A, right? That film with Gogeta that came out after how many years of no films? That's like 3-4 years old. Is it not 4 years old in February? So yeah, no, we need an easy A for this guy, but that's probably not off for a while. This banner sucks, right? Yeah, good and good. The rest are just not up to snuff. For free-to-play players, for new players, could you summon on this? That's a bit of a funny one. For new players, really, the only valuable one on here is this guy, because he's pure Saiyans and movie boss, and he's an AoE. So if you're new, or fairly new, fresh or somewhat, you could make a punt for this guy. He is a hybrid Saiyans and Saviors, so he is a lead for that, and he guards. So between these two, fresh players on kind of newish players could make a punt at this. But for those new players, considering what's coming up round the corner, I would advise you don't summon on this, and you save your stones for the better banner coming up on next campaign in November. Skippity skip. As impressive as these are, I still prefer Gamma 2, actually. The guard is valuable, which is probably the only reason why Gamma 1 is actually of any use. The quality of the banner is rubbish. There's better banners to come across. It includes the anniversary units as well. So skip this banner altogether. Right, yeah, okay, so that's going to be the info, and there's going to be the news and the reveal, and a bit of a breakdown to this guy. I'll do another video just to actually break down how they're actually going to stack up on movie heroes, artificial life forms, and worthy rivals, because it's very good. It's going to be interesting. But yes, that's going to be the video for now. Finally going to be released after almost a month of being on JP. So I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to this. But as I say, it'd be best to skip. Right, so that's going to be the end of this video. And if you liked it, you liked it. If you didn't, you didn't. So until the next time, bye-bye.